Great peace, great wonders, Holito, Wingapa Chama, um, what's happening, um, all that good stuff. Um, I want to continue the dialogue about how we should elect um, new avenues, um, more on the court charisma, more off the court charisma, as far as who we should be voting for when it comes time for elections. Because when you look at the way how voting is and how voting was constructed and how voting was believed to be, um, it's a lot different now. When you look at how they say like vote for um, Democrat, vote Republican, and like independent, he's always running, but he never gets elected. He never gets enough votes, and you wonder how like the people who are voting is always like 23% of the population. So you always have like the electric college, the electorate college vote, and you're wondering like who are these people that's voting, and why is the black vote not carrying so much sway? So I'm looking at here like it says he's Australian born, Kyrie Irving. And I just think like when you're voting for someone and you allow them to get into your politics, they have to be homegrown. That's what it says on the document. That's what it says on the Constitution, and they have to be 35. So we know all that jibber jabber, right? I, I'm just one who thinks like, okay, that may be true, but you still should vote the person who you are likely to write in, because look, when it comes for the once the election is over and you voted, you wrote in the names who you were, and they didn't fit the requirements, they still have to go through an appellate process for the Supreme Court. All right. So during that whole time before they take office in their inaugural ball in January or whatever that is, the end of December, they're going to be in a court process. They're going to be going through getting review. Can this person hold seat? Okay. And I was just thinking of that just now. Like, that is absolutely true. That's exactly what will happen. So, like, and then when you see people that's in the news now saying, well, Trump, he should be indicted because he has all these felonies, and like, well, that may be true as well, but like, you still have to go through the Supreme Court process. So, like, when you see him and he posted stuff like this right here, it just makes you wonder, like, how woke is he, and does he really know these things? Like, of course he does, right? And it just makes you wonder, like, do other people know this information that he's around? Because you know the NBA, the National Basketball, it's a national association. All right, and it weighs in billions of dollars when you look at how it's a international sport. It's not only a national sport. And then when you look at leagues like football and stuff, that's only a national sport because it no one outside of the Americas play gridiron football really. It's not. It hasn't made a national impact as much as basketball has. You can go anywhere in the world and see someone with a basketball and they're playing it on a high level. Like Chinese, they're not going to support the sport because it's an animalistic sport. It doesn't deal with quantum physics and physical. Um, it doesn't deal with like physical. It's not an inline sport. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't. You can't elude it. You know what I mean? Like football is something like you get concussions from playing it and all of that. Like basketball, you don't get concussions. All right, it's good for cardio, and that's about it. So I'm just one who believes like when you look at how inspiring he is, like you should definitely consider like who would you vote for? And I'm thinking like, okay, are you a singer? Are you an aspiring singer? Vote for your favorite singer, cause singer is a party. Okay, like when you look at how it holds its its numbers and records. Okay, it's a party, it's a company, it's an association. Like people who sing, they gather together, they sing together. It's no different than basketball. Like football is just a league. It's not really an association because it has so many positions in sports, and they're not as organized. So when you see him doing like this is a political aspiration. He's not wearing a suit. He's on top of a small man-made mound. He's looking out into the lake or the ocean. All right, now he's in the street here. He's walking in a not busy place, but like a an inspiring place where it's healthy. Like it's art down there. So like this is how he sees himself. Like he's married. He has children right here. Okay, he's playing chess in this one. Like he has a father that's active in his life. Um, I just really think like he would be a good suit to be voted on. Like, and that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna vote him for presidency, and I'm gonna vote. I'm strictly like from now on, like I'm only gonna vote basketball. Like when I get the opportunity to write in names, I'm gonna write in names that are associated with basketball and that sport because like I really do think like when you retire from basketball, like the people who come into the sport who don't play basketball well, they're suburban people or you say suburban adults, suburban kids. They grew up in a suburban background. They make jokes about like how you're gonna retire with $50 million and you're gonna lose it. It's a joke to them. But like since people they've been hip to like how nonchalant people really are, like how unforgiving people really feel about how people really tend to be, like they're really taking at the heart and they're going back at them in a most softly brutalist way. Like just look at this background. This look like a place in like Detroit, New Jersey. He's looking at a city worker. He's embracing them. So like you see, and this is the most famous one right here. This photo right here, him and his sister, at a ceremony with Native Americans. And you can look at his comment section. Like he has over 1,000 comments, and like people they embrace him, they show him love. So this is in South Dakota with the Sioux. And of course, these are not the original Sioux, the original Lakota, because we always been in America. These are people who just came up through Mexico and they settled here. So these are not the original people. Yeah, I mean, like when you really take it to heart, man, just embrace it. I am not one who will be voting outside of the basketball party, or you can say the association, the basketball association. I'm going to be voting for people like Derrick Rose because I know his background. I watched this entire career. These are people who are more accomplished than people who just play golf and people who don't even play sports. I don't think Kamala has a sport. I don't think she plays chess. So I'm kind of privy on like, okay, does this person really think outside of the box? Right here he's with Amon Shepard. Both of them are guards. He's a big point guard and he's a smaller point guard. So like he's right here. He got gold around his neck. Okay, so you got to embrace it. This is somebody who's in his right mind capacity. Okay, he's always in photos where he's out working out. Okay, you see, he had his shirt off. He's in shape. All right, so he celebrates, he commemorates. He's with Kobe right here. He has flashbacks of how life used to be back then. So think like he's only in his early 30s, like. So I would say like there has to be concessions. There has to be a way where we can get, basketball players into the White House, basketball players into the Congress. I think the only person who was successful that I know of in my era was like I think his name was he played for the Phoenix Suns. Now he's in Sacramento. I think his name was Kevin. So yeah, I'm praying that we get more basketball players into um yeah, I'm just praying we get more basketball players into politics. Because like we see it all the time. Like they just gamble with our generation, our life. Like if you look at the NBA draft now, it's international players coming into our league. All right. So they don't identify with us. All right. They don't play the game that they don't play the game the way that we play the game, you know? So there needs to be concessions. Um, I love this photo right here. Um, so that's all I wanted to say. I hope that uh, he gets in there because I know like if my vote doesn't count in the long run, well, I should say if my vote doesn't count in the short run, it's going to count in the long run because just by identifying the fact that you have a vote that's been counted on the ballot, that's a 1%. Okay, that's a 0.1%. That's a 0.5% because I know other people are going to be thinking about this. There's so many people in the world. He's a great ambassador. So, like, when you think about that and you see that happening, like, concessions has to be made in my district. It has to be made for me personally because, like, I didn't vote for Democrats. I didn't vote for Republicans. All right. So, I'm voting for basketball. That's my party. That's my association. That's my league. So that's what I'm going to go for. This is going to count federally because I have ideals that are more federal leaning. I want to see something happen. I want to see something take place that hasn't taken place before. So I'm just lucky that I voted and wrote in my family when I was doing the primaries for the local election. So like nothing. When you read these comments, it's nothing but love. He's a likable guy. So you want to pray that his family sees great abundance, and his legacy is carried on. You want to see that happen. He's younger than me, so like I'm automatically attracted to the fact that he's there. So he made it. His game has spoken, and I want to see it continue to happen. So that's all I want to say. Vote for your party, your association, and it doesn't have to be blue or red. It doesn't have to be Democrat, Independent, or Republican. You need to vote the way that you think, and you need to make sure that you get concessions. Just don't sit out and don't vote. I think that's the issue right there. Like when people don't invest in the future, it hurts the scope of how we see things. Like you see all these undeveloped projects, projects being extended, they're being paused, they're being held a year out. Like what has happened the last 10 years? Like nothing really. All right, nothing. I can't say nothing has happened the last 10 years. Like I haven't been wowed by a project in another city or another town or another state. I haven't been wowed by anything.